Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. My opponent's gone first. I have a lot of high-scoring tiles. Now, can I score well? What I can do is vox across here, and that scores reasonably well, and it gets rid of the V, which is a problem tile. I'm still left with 3 high-scoring tiles, but I've got a vowel, and the Y is a quasi-vowel, so I should be able to score well next go, even though I don't have a bingo. Now, what can I do that's better than this? I'm just wondering if I've got a word ending OXY that I could play in pretty much the same spot. But I can't see such a move. I think this is okay. Well, that's quite a kind pickup. It's much closer to a bingo. I don't draw any more high-scoring tiles. My K can go above the second I of high oi, so I could play key in that spot. I don't think I have a bingo with this rack. There may be some 8s, but I can't see any. Now, Vox was quite a nice play in that the triple letter square immediately above the O is not really accessible because no tiles go in front of the V or in front of XI, so my opponent cannot play in row F to good effect. None of my tiles go underneath OH. And only my D goes underneath the I of high oi. It would be nice to play off the W, the K, and the Y. Then the rack leave of A, D, E, R is quite bingo-y, but I don't think that's going to be possible. Well, good bingo for my opponent. Now, do any of these floaters help me? I'm just working my way down to see if anything great jumps into my mind. Well, the N looks enticing, but I can't see anything. I am going to be able to play off all 3 high-scoring tiles, though. I can play wanky through the N. Let me see what that scores. £30, that's not bad. Now, what about placing the W in row C next to the H of phenols? Well, if I play there, I can't play off the K and the Y, and particularly as my opponent has taken a lead, I would like to bingo back as soon as possible. Well, this looks pretty good. Do I have a bingo? Well, I'm not sure I have a 7. If there is a 7 there, it's a very high probability. Through an L, I would have soldier, spelt S-O-U-L, but the L of phenols is not in a good place. The I and O of high ois duplicate tiles on my rack, so I can't see a bingo there. So it's the P and the H which are the most promising. Can't see anything through the P or the H. I have a slight nagging worry that there may be a 7-letter bingo here that I've missed. But it's not coming to me. I also can't see anything through the Y. Now, having played off all my high-scoring tiles, I'm going to struggle to score with this rack. But if I play off OU, the rack leave of DEIRS is really good. I would have a choice of bingos through a T. Well, my opponent provides no additional floaters. I'm just looking at XI to see if I've got a bingo beginning XI or OXI in column 7. Can't see one. And I'm going back to looking at the P and the H. I don't want to miss a bingo if there is one here. Well, I can't see it. Now, I could play OU here. That scores 14 points, which is pretty dismal. It does, however, open up column 14 as a bingo lane. OU takes a D, an R, and an S after it. So I'm just looking around to see if I can do better with my O and my U. And I can't see that I can. Well, I draw the F and the Z, which means I don't have a bingo. Great, my opponent has changed. Now, can I score well? Fizz and Frizz are both good. Wow, OU has blocked Frizz for a huge score. Fez is also good. Well, I'm struggling to see a good spot for my Z. I'm looking in column 8 to see if I can take advantage of the W for a triple word square. Can't see a way of doing that. I can play prized in row B, which is quite a nice play, but it wrecks the rack leave. 36 points, which would actually give me a slight lead. But is there something better? I'm looking at F2 to see if I can place my Z there. Can't see a way of doing that. I could play fries at A4 down. Let me see what this scores. It gets rid of the F and the Z, so it's a more bingo-y leave than prized. 45 points, it's a bigger score. It's opening up a bingo lane in column 3. Well, I might as well do this and get 52 points. Carious and Curiosa. Do either of those play? Yes, they do. Column 14. And hopefully my opponent is going to be attracted to Frized as somewhere to play. So I've got Curiosa in column 14 and Carious. What else do I have? Neither of those plays in column 3. Row I isn't a bingo lane. I'm looking at the P of phenols. Can't see anything through that. And now I'm looking at the F and R of fries. No. Well, hopefully column 14 will stay available. Can't see anything down from the O and the I of high oys. So, what else is there to consider? Well, I certainly need to choose between Carius and Curiosa. They both begin with C. Neither of them takes a back hook, I don't think. Carius takes a front hook, so Curiosa is the better play. Now, oh, 89 points for my opponent, and he's taken my spot. How cruel. So, I do not have a bingo that I've seen. Well, that's a good play by my opponent. That's still pretty irksome. He's now got a 60-point lead. I really was not expecting him to play there and block me. Well, I guess the blocking was fairly inevitable if he played there, because he would have to play an H for me to play a word beginning with C. Now, he's played the E of Vatable right next to the triple word square, so it does. If I don't take that spot, my opponent is likely to score well through it. I certainly want to play off my U, because that is inhibiting my bingo prospects. But how can I do that? And I'm going back to the F and R of fries in case there's a bingo there. Well, I could play Corf, C-A-U-F. Now that's keeping the hot spot next to the E of Vatable open, but I am creating new bingo lanes in columns 1 and 2, and the rack leave is okay. And the score of 27 points is good. Now, onto an E, I would have motorize or roomiest. Through a U, I would have timorous and sumo Tory. I don't think I have a 7-letter bingo here. Blind, not sure about that. It's good. And I have the E for motorize or roomiest. But that's not going to get doubled. So do I have a bingo through one of the ends of blind? Monitors, Trominos. Well, Trominos, gosh. I think that's good. And it does play, and it does obstruct the hot spot at H15. Now, what about the C of Corf? Do I have a bingo coming down from that? No, don't think so. Well, is Trominos good? This is going to be an expensive blunder if it's not in. But if it's not good, why am I thinking about it? Actually, I don't like the way that looks. I just do not feel comfortable with it. Trominos. Now, monitors doesn't play. I don't think I have a 7-letter bingo. Unless Miss Root is good. And I think I'm probably confusing that with root spelt O-U-T-E. So I do have a bingo. I have motorize. I'm not sure there's very much between playing this and playing roomiest. So 61 points. And I draw the Q, but I have the U with it, which is good. I don't have any other vowels. So I'm looking at the vowels on the board. And there's plenty of I's. There are I's in blind, motorised and frised. So I can play quid or quim through some of those. But it would be nice to split up my duplicate R. So if there was an E, I could play query. I think the only available vowels are I's. And I do need to play through a vowel on the board. The O's of motorised are not in a good place, and I can't play off one of my R's through them anyway. Now, what I could do is play Durry in column 14, Durry and bed. It keeps the Q, but it would score a lot. Wow, how many bingos is that for my opponent? Fantastic string of bingos for him. And he now takes a 140-point lead, and he's provided no new vowels. Now I could play choir through the eye of blind, but that doesn't get doubled. So the best I can see at the moment is quim down here, 30 points. I could get the same playing through the eye of frised, but this keeps the board more open. And I note that roomiest would have blocked Geston. Maybe it would have played somewhere else. Another quite kind pickup, given my rack leave. So do I have a bingo here? I don't think I have a 7-letter bingo. So I'm looking at the C of Corf. Well, I can't see a bingo through that. And that's pretty much it in terms of floaters. But I should be able to leave myself with quite a good rack leave if I play off just the R and the I and possibly one vowel. So I could play YAR at C13 through the first A of Vatable. 22 points. I'm just looking to see if there is a 7-letter bingo that I've overlooked, but I can't see one. I don't think there is one there. I could play try down from the T of motorise. 18 points. But I'm looking at the tiles that are left, and there are 4 A's and 5 E's and 3 I's, so keeping A, E and I is quite a vulnerable rack leave. A change of just 2 tiles by my opponent, that suggests to me that he is close to a bingo and has the blank. So, what can I do here? I'm looking to play off the R and the Y and one vowel. Well, my Y could go underneath the M of motorise. So I could actually play a 5-letter word ending in Y down here. I could play Derry, which provides floaters, or dairy in fact, or would ready be better? So 49 points, which is a huge score, definitely better than playing off just the R and the Y for 20. It's a very volatile move, but I think I need the board to have lots of opportunities, and I need to hope that my opponent doesn't have a bingo and hope that I can get one myself. I suppose what would be slightly better than Deary would be D-Ray, because I'm avoiding placing a vowel above the double letter square at 04, which my opponent could score highly with. Well, that's the risk you take when you play off a lot of tiles, that you pick up a very imbalanced rack. This is a long, long way away from a bingo, and it's not going to be possible to play a move and sort this rack out. I'm 63 points behind. I'm expecting my opponent to come in with a good score. I'm thinking about changing. Because I would need to play off 2 I's and an A. And I just can't see any way of doing that. I'm wondering if I have something in column 8, either through the W of Wanky or through the T of Motorize. So I could play Jirga. Let me see what that scores. 15 tiles left. £17 points. And with a terrible rack leave, and with 5 E's, there's a good chance I would draw one of them and I would have a bad rack. I think I'm going to change. It's a nice move by my opponent. He's taken out the useful floaters for me in D-Ray for bingoing, and he's also nullified the hotness of row O. So I am going to change here. There are still bingo lanes on this board. So what to keep? I'm keeping an I because there are none, and it ensures I keep a vowel. The R is always a useful tile. Fantastic, look at that. That is a bingo-y rack. And I note that MY in column 6 does take a C at the end. I've got just under 6 minutes left. Okay, that spot's been taken. So what about column 1? Do I have a bingo beginning with C? Wow. There may well be one here. This is a really bingo-y set of tiles. I note that I can play an or retic in column 2, so I do have a bingo. But I'm 120 points behind, so I'd like to get a bingo with which scores the most. And that would be column 1. I'm mentally going to... No, I'm not. I'm going to physically run through the alphabets. I'm mentally imagining the C being on the rack. Haven't seen anything yet. This looks possible, but that may just be a reflection of CH synergy. Cortical is not good. Wow. Looks close to a bingo, can't see it. So, an extra C with this rack. No. Co-right is a 7. Well, I can't see a bingo through that C, which is a shame. So I do have Anoretic. Are there any other bingo lanes that I haven't considered? I don't think so. Well, there's row C through the I. That might be better than Anoretic, because Anoretic doesn't open up any new bingo lanes, whereas row C would. It would provide me with bingo lanes down from C1. But that would mean a bingo with 2 I's, and I can't see one. I'm looking around to see if there are any bingo lanes I've overlooked. Well, I suppose I could play to the right-hand side of Ginny and parallel to it. I'm drawn back to column 1. I'm convinced that there is a bingo here. It looks such a good rack. So what about one ending IC? Cornetic is not good. Well, I'm not seeing it. There may be several, so I think I'm going to go ahead and play Anoretic. Well, what I could do is play Actioner, and that would open up a bingo lane in column 1. Score slightly less because I'm placing my blank on the triple letter square. Well, quite a good rack. Slightly too many vowels. So I think this game is now lost with only 4 tiles in the bag. I've got the S, which can go on the end of Geston. So I could play As and Geston. 33 points, that's quite good. And I've got an A and an O for going after the J, so I may have a play in column 4, which scores an okay amount. I'm looking for such a play in column 4, and I'm not seeing it. I'm expecting my opponent to play in column 1. I note that my I can go after Q to make chin. So I could play airs in column 12, parallel to blind. About 28 points. My main concern will be to, well, if my opponent empties the bag, to find an out in 2. Okay, well, he has gone in column 1. He's got a 70 or 80 point lead. I do not have a bingo. So I'm not going to win this game. There is 1 tile in the bag. It's probably a consonant. So airs for 28. A consonant would complement the remaining tiles. Certainly if I played AS for 2 more points, I would struggle. I hadn't quite noticed how little time I've got left. Now, I draw a vowel. My opponent's got triplet, but nowhere to play it. And I can still play as and Geston, so that will be my move with 25 seconds left. I think my opponent will be going out in 2, so I don't need to worry that as doesn't give me an out in 1. I'm looking around in case I can go out in 1. But it's pretty unlikely with 4 vowels and 1 consonant. I'm quite surprised that that column 8 through the W of Wanky has stayed available throughout the game. That looked quite a hot spot. Well, my opponent may not be going out, but that's 33 points, so I think it's best. So, can I go out? Well, possibly. Now, if I can't go out, and my opponent may not be able to, what can I do? Because I've only got 18 seconds left, which isn't much. Well, I could play J-O. I could play Gage-O in row J. 14 points. Probably is something better than this. And my opponent has many places to go out, so pass to end the game. And the final score, 444 to me, 483 to my opponent. A winning margin to him of 39 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Quite a high-scoring game, that. Both of us well over 400 points. My opponent went first. Pretty horrible rack. Nice find of high oi. I played Vox. I think that's best. Nice bingo by my opponent. Now, I could have played Weekday in row D, which would have been good. It would have played off all of my high-scoring tiles, and it would have scored 14 more points than Wanky. But the leave after Wanky of R-E-D is a lot better than just an R, but probably not 14 points better. Great. I was holding my breath slightly there in case I missed a bingo. Now what I did was OU for 14. Well, even though most of the other moves there score more, I think OU is equivalent because it's got such a good rack leave. Now I was unfortunate that I didn't have a bingo given the rack leave, but I was able to score 52 points for Friesd, which is pretty good. Nice bingo by my opponent. And I didn't miss a bingo here, but I could have played Auric for 36. Instead, I played Korf for 27. My rack leave after Korf is better. I'm keeping 4 bingo-y tiles rather than 2, but I think Auric is a better play. It scores more. It's taking out a hot spot for my opponent. And he did indeed bingo. Trominos was good. And, well, you can see there, I got 60 1 point for motorised. I sacrificed 13 points by not playing Trominos. So it shows the importance of having solid word knowledge, although it feels like you're doing the right thing by playing the bingo that you know, and you probably are doing the right thing by not risking a phony. When the word you don't play is good, it is an error. Nice bingo by my opponent. Murray for 51, where's that? N2. Ah, well, where I later played D-Ray, I could have played Murray, but I would be retaining the Q. But Murray is... well, Murray's 21 points better than Quim, but keeping the Q after Murray hits the leave by about 13 points. There probably isn't a huge amount between those plays. Dairy keeping RE. Well, those are all variations on a theme. This was clearly the place to play. Now, my opponent did not have a good rack, and he sorted it out to some extent and blocked the good spots on the board for me, so that was a good play. I had a dreadful rack here. Looking at those suggested plays, they're all pretty low scores with poor rack leaves. I was a bingo behind, so I think it was the right thing to do to change. Nice play by my opponent. Ooh, yes, should have seen... ah, look at that. Look at that. Concerti, Crocoites, Co-Direct and Courtesies were all the bingos that I missed, which would have scored 80 or 90 points. Instead, I got 20 points less by playing Actioner. Or 24 points less. And given that my final losing amount was only about 40 points, those 20 points are quite significant. But certainly should have spotted some of those. My opponent plays egg. And, well, this is where I played airs. The suggestion there is as, but I think that's just because it scores more. I think airs is a better play. What did my opponent have here? Nothing fabulous. I played as. Although airs and Oz were also both playable. And here, G9. Oh, right, through the L of phenols I could have gone out. What would that have done? Scored 8 points. Yeah, I'd have still lost, but not by as much. So, that was a close game. There was two instances there where I played suboptimal bingos, motorised instead of Trominos, and Actioner instead of a bunch of plays in column 1. So, given that I lost by only about 40 points, those suboptimal bingos could have made the difference between winning and losing. Scrabble is a game of strategy, but above all else, I think Scrabble is a game of word knowledge and word power, and it's just hugely important to know your words, and most top players spend most of their Scrabble study time studying words rather than studying strategy, and I think the suboptimal bingos in this game illustrate why word knowledge is so important. But an interesting game and a high-scoring game, and great plays by my opponent. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity of thanking Brian Galeback for the videos that he's contributed to this site in the guest spot on Sunday evenings. Brian is taking a break from providing these videos, but I wanted to express my appreciation for all the work that he has put in to creating them over the last few months. It's been much appreciated, so thank you, Brian. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's video and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.